A few days ago, one of the respected and reputable European military analysts, the former head of the NATO Defense College in Rome and the current academic director of the German Federal Academy for Security Policy, Karl-Heinz Kamp, made a rather shocking confession. According to him, with all their desire, the United States and European countries will no longer be able to influence the course of a special military operation, even if Kiev, in 2024, receives weapons and money in full. The current conflict has fully revealed all the weaknesses of NATO. The inability of the alliance to adapt to new realities, the inability of the defense industry of NATO countries to adapt to hostilities, and most importantly, the lack of unity on key issues, showed that NATO doesn't stand a chance in case of direct military confrontation with Russia. The last 2 years have shown that the West has not only underestimated Russia's military and economic capabilities, but also significantly overestimated its own forces. Having provoked Russia to take harsh actions in Ukraine, the West turned out to be completely unprepared for it. Washington and Brussels were confident that Russia would suffer a crushing defeat not only on the battlefield, but also in the geopolitical and economic arenas. However, the reality turned out to be different and very painful for the West itself. The current conflict has shown that Russia has not only not lost on the battlefield, but has also become much stronger from a military and economic point of view. In 2 years of fighting, Russia's economy has become the largest in Europe, and its army has received not only invaluable experience, but also new types of weapons that have been significantly improved based on the realities of current hostilities. Moreover, 2 years later, it became clear that Russia initially chose a very successful tactic in confrontation with the West. The Kremlin's calculation and plan turned out to be a win-win solution to the current conflict. From the very beginning, Moscow has been preparing for a long and positional conflict in Ukraine, which will exhaust not only Kiev, but also the West itself. All this has led to the fact that the Russian military-industrial complex has fully adapted, significantly increasing the country's defense potential, while Ukraine and Western countries began to grow tired of the prolonged conflict. Moscow initially knew that the longer this conflict would last, the more discontent and fatigue in Western countries would grow. The long duration of this conflict and the lack of military successes of the armed forces of Ukraine on the battlefield led to the fact that the US Congress began to refuse to provide Ukraine with another financial assistance of up to $61 billion. Moreover, in 2023, after the Russian army was able to take full control of cities such as Bakhmut, Mariinka, and Soledar, the European Union also refused to provide Ukraine with another financial assistance of up to €50 billion. At the same time, it is worth noting that the Ukrainian army, with the help of unprecedented NATO support, has so far failed to reduce the combat capability of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, and also destroy the Crimean Bridge, which connects Russia with the peninsula. With each new day, more and more Western experts admit that in 2 years, Russia has demilitarized not only Ukraine, but also NATO itself. This conflict has led to the fact that the stocks of weapons in NATO countries have been almost completely exhausted. Moreover, the current conflict also claimed the lives of thousands of NATO high-ranking officers and soldiers. Practically every day, active officers and soldiers of NATO countries, who pose as ordinary mercenaries and soldiers of fortune, are killed in Ukraine. All this has already caused irreparable damage to the North Atlantic Alliance. Meanwhile, new details have emerged about the recent Russian missile attack on Kharkiv, resulting in the destruction of a temporary deployment point for foreign mercenaries. As it turned out, all these mercenaries were French citizens. At the moment, the Russian military department has officially confirmed the death of 60 French citizens. However, this figure may increase as there were allegedly about 200 foreign mercenaries in the destroyed building. Moreover, sources in the Ministry of Defense claim that these French citizens were active NATO officers, and were in Ukraine in the status of soldiers of fortune. At the same time, it is also reported that in addition to French citizens, about 150 Ukrainian militants from various nationalist units were also in the destroyed building. According to preliminary data, none of them managed to survive.